Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Claire. In today's video I'm showing you how I made this really simple and nice organizer for my jewelry. I'll link all the material that I use in the description box below, so just keep watching. I'll be using this rotating cake plate that I already had around the house as my base. It's 11 inches wide, and then I also cut out foam board of the same diameter. I'll be gluing these together but later on, and I also just make sure I file the edges every time I cut foam board, just to make sure it's smooth and it's a perfect circle. And now I'll be gluing the edges with these pearls that I got from the Dollar Tree. I just used extra glue, but they already have their own glue. I cut other 3 pieces of a foam board that I covered with white contact paper, and these I'll attach onto my round base. I had initially divided this circle into 4 parts, but then later on changed my mind. I'll be using only 3 parts. So I used my knife as well to cut out rails on the 3 ends, and this is where I'll be attaching my other boards to make the different sections. And now I'm using hot glue to attach my long boards onto this base to make the different sections. If you're here for the first time, I'm so glad to have you. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you're updated every time I upload. Thank you. Before you add the 3rd section, don't forget to secure the 2 at the back by binding them together vertically, and then you add the last piece as well with the hot glue. The next step is to work on the shelves. Cut out foam board the same dimensions as the different sections, and then I'll be joining 3 pieces together using hot glue just to make sure it's strong enough. I then cover them with white contact paper just for the bottom part and the upper part. For the round edge of the shelf, I just cut out white cardstock paper, which I covered with this piece of the shower curtain. Yeah, I loved how it looked like, so I will use that. The next step is to glue my shelves. I used E6000 and hot glue to make sure that this shelf will be in place. And then also I would advise that you mark out your points so you don't have the shelf either slanty or in a position you really don't want it to. I only made 2 shelves, and these will be in only 1 section of my organizer. And then I covered the round edge last using hot glue as well. Now that that was done, I didn't like the joining parts for these 2 pieces, so I decided to add a bling wrap using hot glue for all the meeting points on all the 3 sections. For the next section of the organizer, I'll be using styrofoam. I usually keep these from all the pieces that I order online. And then I'll be covering it with felt and using hot glue. I didn't cover the base because this is what I'll be using to attach them onto the foam boards. I made 2 of these pieces and I'll be attaching them using E6000 and hot glue. This is how my organizer looks like for now. I decided to use several colors. If you want, you can just stick to one theme color. So now I'll be working on the third section. I used foam, which I already had around the house. The length for this foam is 3.5 inches, so I just rolled it up in felt using hot glue as well. As you're rolling, just make sure you don't let go so that this foam is tight and round, and it will give you a really nice round shape. And then I also cut off all the excess felt. I made enough of these rolls, and then I'll be now making a small box. Now the length for this is 11.5 inches. And then of course the width is the 3.5 inches. So I glued down my rolls with the joining part as the one in the base, so you don't have lines showing up at the front. I made sure I glued them so close to each other so I don't have spaces in between them. So altogether I used 15 rolls and then covered up the edges, and then I glued them onto my foam board using hot glue and E6000. For the remaining part of this section, I'll just use the foam board that I covered with felt, and then I'll be using strings as well, and then I just glued them together in rolls using hot glue. So I then glued my ends to seal it up and to make a box just like what I did before with the other part. And then I also glued this box onto the section using hot glue and E6000. Now that the biggest part is really done, now I'll be gluing my rotating plate onto my organizer using the E6000 and hot glue. For most of the edges and the joining parts, I added my bling wrap that I got from the 99-cent store to cover up whatever imperfections there were with the glue. I then glued some clips that I already had around the house, and I remember I think I got them from the Dollar Tree, and this will be for my necklaces. But again, you can just modify this depending on what you really want to store or your personal preference and how you want it to look like. You can put it in one color. I just wanted different colors, so you can really play around with it. I'm just so glad I made this so my jewelry doesn't have to be flying everywhere. If you love this video, please give me a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification bell so that you're updated every time that I have a new upload. I hope you love this. Thank you also so much for your support, and you can also check out my other videos in my description box for different DIYs and home decor. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.